welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is the Raksha Bandhan 2023 special edition on Business Today TV. Here's wishing all our viewers a very happy Raksha Bandhan. Remember, the festival of Raksha Bandhan is dedicated to celebration of the cherished bonds between the siblings. However, the rituals of Raksha Bandhan are also seldom complete without giving gifts to each other on this special occasion. And this Raksha Bandhan, you can actually make the occasion even more special by gifting your brother or your sister something that can also financially secure their future and even encourage their investments even more. Remember, the traditional gifts also come at a price, but instead of spending the money on expensive items such as chocolates or clothes or shoes or bags, anything that you think of giving on an every Raksha Bandhan basis, you can actually invest that money in some options which can continue to create value and therefore help your siblings achieve financial goals in life. To help us know what are these options that you can explore, with me joining in is a very special guest. Shweta Jain joins in, who's the founder of Investography, and she's a personal finance expert. Welcome, Shweta, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Wishing you too a very happy Raksha Bandhan and hope that your family members, your siblings continue to have a great year ahead.
Thank you, Sakshi. Wishing you the same as well.
All right, Shweta, so let's get kick-started. This is the biggest dilemma that most brothers and sisters really feel on Raksha Bandhan as to what is the gift that they should give. And usually all these traditional gifts, come into mind, that people will either give cash or they will give clothes or bags or perfumes, something which is perishable and will definitely wither out after time. But, on Business Today, we thought that why not? That one should really think of financial gifts as an option on this Raksha Bandhan. So let me kickstart with the traditional gifts. Each of those traditional gifts, you can give us something which can actually be considered as an alternate too. So let's start off with cash. Now, we all know cash is the most common gift which gets exchanged on this day. And nowadays, digital payments is something that is even getting more popular because rarely do people use cash these days. But tell me, if cash or digital option is something which is considered, something that may not be able to create value for a long time, what is the alternate that one should deploy this cash in?
So I think instead of cash, you could look at something which is like a bond. So like a deposit, that's something that definitely can be given. Of course, beating inflation is another issue, but this can definitely be given. One of the other things that at least I get from my brother is dollars or dirhams. Because he lives abroad. So that is one thing that I get. So that's interesting. I think as currency sort of fluctuates and we do have people traveling abroad and, can use some of these interesting gifts as well. So not just, I think traditional is cash. Maybe the modern equivalent could be Forex or different currencies. So that I think could be an interesting twist, and it could gain in value over time because we do see dollar appreciating against the rupee over time. So I think that's interesting way as well. Of course, Forex cards could be the next sort of upgrade that, okay, I'm gifting you tickets, you pay, but, this is currency that you can use. So a Forex card could be interesting as well.
That's a wonderful take there, that instead of cash, if you already have been planning for a holiday going forward in the near future or in this year sometime, you can actually gift a Forex card which could have either multiple currencies, or you can actually give the dollar, which is accepted in most countries, and that also at a price of today, you might never know. It will increase in value also going forward, and it may help neither ease out the convenience for your brother or sister going forward. They don't have to then think about getting the Forex at the last minute, so they already have things in place. Very wise gift option that you've given here. The other thing which we usually see is that, of course, brothers in lieu of their sisters, they get a bank savings account or an FD or an RD get started on this day as well. So what could be an alternate to that? We do know that inflation levels are skyrocketing. And at this point in time, the traditional savings account returns or the FD and the RD returns hardly are able to match up to those inflation levels. And what one does not realize is that one is in fact losing some money if one is putting a lot of money in their FDs and RDs. So what could be a wiser option here?
I think an alternate to sort of RDs could be an SIP, systematic investment plan in a mutual fund, because that's something that could gain over time, and that's an investment for their future, for long term, and which could actually multiply over time, right? So rather than a depreciating asset or something that you would have, perishable item, like we said in the beginning, right? So you would see that the gift that he's given this year or you've given this year is growing multiple folds over the next few years. An SIP could be an interesting option as well.
Okay, SIP or a systematic investment plan, mutual funds, we all know most of the financial experts have been betting big on this asset class, and this asset class has proven itself over the long term as well. Over the last 20-30 years, with the way stock markets are growing, and it has emerged as one of the best asset classes, mutual funds could be a very, very wise way how you can help your brother or sister really create financial value, create wealth over the long term. So you can perhaps start an SIP on their behalf on a regular basis, or maybe provide a lump sum amount which they can continue on an SIP basis as well. So those are the things that you can definitely consider on today. That's Raksha Bandhan, and that would be something they would always appreciate, not just on today's day, but perhaps for years and years to come as well. Okay, so let's get down to the third option. Another popular gift is, traditionally is gold jewelry, or gold or silver coins. These are the items that most people really think of giving if one wants to give a higher ticket item price to their brothers or sisters. They also tie nowadays gold and silver rakhis, those people who can actually spend more. But would you say that instead of tying a gold or a silver rakhi, or instead of getting them a jewelry of gold or silver, which will have some making charges and which may get depreciated over a time, is there a better option here?
Oh, definitely, Sakshi, because especially, these are traditions, right? So, for example, just after wedding, when it's your first Rakhi, the Rakhi that you tie is a gold Rakhi, and then the next is a silver Rakhi. So things like that are a part of our tradition, just to, I think, encourage us to save. So that has been going on for a long, long time, and I think today we have smarter ways to do that. So rather than doing that, maybe do a gold ETF. I think buying a gold ETF would be quite interesting, because again, gold coins, gold Rakhi, all of these are storage, might be an issue, making charges for Rakhi, and even the purity itself, right? So all of these could be issues when it comes to these traditional investments. Gold ETF could be a great way to invest in this. Gold mutual funds could be interesting that you could look at, because these mutual funds not only invest in gold but also in gold mining companies. So that could be an interesting twist if somebody is looking at it. Sovereign gold bonds is another great option for somebody to invest in. So I think of these three, I would sort of go towards gold ETFs a little more, because of the ease and convenience, and also just the fact that it's so simple. So I think a gold ETF is a smarter way today.
Gold ETF or gold exchange traded fund. Shweta, if you could simplify it further for all our viewers who may have first time heard gold ETF as a term, how and where can one access this option if they are now getting interested after listening to you as a more prudent option than buying traditional gold jewelry or physical gold? How does one access gold ETF, and what is the ticket size? How long can one really invest in? All of those details too.
So a gold ETF could be quite simple. You would need a demat and a trading account to start investing. Any of your popular portals, be it Zerodha or any of these, you could buy it on any of these. In fact, there are other sort of Paytm, etc., also where you can buy this. But I would recommend something as simple as a gold ETF, not, rather than a digital gold. Don't get confused
Okay.
between the two. So gold ETF will usually buy units of gold for you. So it's simple. You could invest as low as even 5,000 rupees. So it's a part of a gold, a part of the gold that you're buying. So rather than doing 10 grams, you're buying simple, smaller amounts. And next, and as the gold prices sort of increase, your ETF value will sort of increase as well. Of course, fluctuation, but over time that we see, that will also increase. And that is when, if you would want to actually buy gold, you can then sell your ETF and buy that jewelry or gold, whatever it is, if it's the physical consumption. Or as gold prices increase and you're looking at profit booking, that is also simple. You just sell it on the portal itself. So that it's a simple, easy process, low cost process for whatever amount that you're looking at as well.
Okay, a low ticket item, and you get the exposure and the diversification of gold as well, something which traditionally you are always advised to do. But instead of buying traditional physical gold, you actually turn smarter, get gold ETF so that you don't lose any money of making charges, etc. And whenever you mature it or whenever you redeem it, you get full value of what you had invested and much bigger returns too. And with the ease of convenience which Shweta has really explained to you how you can really access it. Now, let's also talk about one more popular asset, but this is a popular asset, however, very, very high ticket: real estate. Now, buying a home is a big, distant dream for many in India. Most of the people are, they spend their life savings to create a home for themselves or create a property that could eventually turn out to be an investment asset if they already have a home for themselves. But, on Raksha Bandhan, if somebody really wants to explore real estate as an option, is there an affordable option of how you can really diversify your portfolio, add that extra bit for your own brother or sister so that they can enjoy the perks of the growth in the real estate space too?
Absolutely, Sakshi. So I think somebody who's looking at real estate as an exposure can look at REITs. So these are real estate investment trusts that you can actually invest as low as 5,000 rupees. It'll give you exposure to real estate. It'll have a bunch of properties that it invests in, and you have the choice and the diversification there as well. So you could technically be investing in real estate and still have 5,000 rupees diversified into multiple projects. So I think nothing better than this if you're getting into real estate, especially if you don't have large lump sums to buy and own property at the moment. And if you're looking at, if you're positive and optimistic about real estate as an asset class, I think it's a great way to sort of invest that money regularly, periodically, or even one time, and make sure that you are taking that advantage of this optimism that you have, and you're putting in this money, and you can redeem this, of course, at the time that you want to. Ideally a slightly longer time horizon, because real estate does need time. So I would recommend that if your time horizon for gifting, and that they can hold this for at least 3 to 5 years, I think it's a great way to give real estate as a gift, because of course giving properties is not easy and not something that you can do every year. But if you're looking at building a real estate portfolio for your sibling, I think REITs are a great way to continuously, year on year, you could give this. So that's something that you could look at as well.
Okay, year on year, you can build on to that real estate portfolio of your sibling. Every time you can put in 5,000 rupees, and who knows, you can, over a long period of time, you get the same amount of returns that you would have actually, got when you would have spent a bomb on getting a property for yourself. But at a smaller ticket price, you enjoy the same kind of benefits right there as well. So real estate with just a small ticket price, 5,000 rupees, and you can be an owner of many, many properties right there. Very simplified new investment opportunity that you can definitely access, and Shweta has definitely given you that option that you can explore in case you are a real estate enthusiast. Now, lastly, we've already discussed we've discussed the cash alternatives, we've discussed the FD or RD of alternatives as mutual funds and SIPs. We've also discussed alternatives to traditional gold, that is gold ETF and sovereign gold bonds, and REITs as an alternate to getting a clear property in real estate or a physical real estate property. The last one that we are going to be discussing is in the truest sense of how you can really protect your brother or sister on this special occasion, that is Raksha Bandhan. And what we are talking about is insurance. Now, we all know the kind of uncertainty the lives we are living in, the world that we are living in. We've noticed some very, very disturbing events throughout this year. The kind of natural calamities that have faced us. And all of these issues is something that we don't have control over. But what we can do is something is in our hands, and that is to truly protect our brothers or sisters by gifting them a life insurance, a term insurance, or a health insurance. So, Shweta, why don't you help us and all our viewers understand how does one really go about it? What is the importance of giving insurance if your brother or sister does not have a health or a life insurance? Why is it absolutely critical for you to really think of this financial gift in today's in today's day?
I think, Sakshi, you've already highlighted how this is the truest form of protection that we are talking about, right? So Raksha Bandhan literally means protection, right? The festival where you're protecting your sibling. And I think it goes both ways, from the sister to the brother or from the brother to the sister. I think it's an equally relevant gift from either side, where for their health, you're looking at health insurance, so that in case something happens, of course, see, all of us are hoping the best for our siblings, but the fact that you're here talking about protection is simple, right? And it's, I think, more relevant at a festival like this, that you're giving something like a health insurance, saying, I care about you and this is for your protection. I think it's a perfect gift for Raksha Bandhan, where you're saying, I'm protecting your health, our family's health, right? So you can be a proposer, for example, for your sibling, or you could make sure that they are taking their own insurance, and there is the premium that they can be paying. You're making sure that they are the cash that you're giving is being used for that. But otherwise, you can be the proposer for their health insurance policy and make sure that they have adequate coverage. And in case something happens, they are covered, and their financial, there is no financial losses for them, right? So other than the health stress and the emotional stress, there's no financial stress.
Yeah.
So health insurance is clearly a winner at this occasion here. And life insurance is something else that could be taken, because again, term insurance is the purest form of protection here. And you're looking at a low cost premium, a low cost way of protecting and giving them a high insurance cover. So something as high as even a crore could be quite cheap for you to give. It could be 5,000, 10,000 rupees a year. You could break it down to monthly even, right? So you could be the initiator and make sure that that burden is not on them. And in case something happens to them, you could their family is protected, right? Because again, we are talking about protection. So for siblings who have families, who have children that need to be taken care of, term insurance is again something that you could look at and make sure that they are adequately covered. Because even if it's they have insurance existing, but it's a low cover, right? So if it's only 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, usually they do have these endowment policies or money back policies that people take for their children, but the coverage may not be adequate in case something happens to them. So this is, I think, a great occasion for you to cover that gap and make sure that they feel protected completely. And I think in India, at least, this is an acceptable time to talk about something like this. And after we've seen COVID, I think people have understood the importance even more of health and life insurance.
Absolutely, very well put. The clear winner of the 5 financial options which we have discussed today is insurance. So, in case your brother or sister does not have health or term insurance and they have dependents who is like family on them, then this is something that on an annual basis that you can continue to give a premium for their term insurance, and this is something that they will cherish for life. And this overall protects their own family. So your truest sense is that you're giving something that they will value for years, and their families too as well. And of course, health insurance, if they don't have that, is a must have. But all of these financial options that we've discussed today are great to consider in case you're thinking of still to give what to give, or additionally to whatever you have passed on in the physical, materialistic gifts that you've given. You can also additionally think of these financial options, because these are the options that will actually be truly valuable over the years to come. Many, many thanks, Shweta, for being with us on this special edition and helping all our viewers really understand the truest way of how to celebrate Raksha Bandhan today by valuing your own brothers and sisters, the bonds and the gifts that one can really consider. Many thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sakshi.
All right, and with that, we wrap up this special Raksha Bandhan edition for you. But do stay tuned on to Business Today TV to catch all the updates from the world of business and stock markets as they continue and the show goes on too. Mr. Sunil Chari, Managing Director of Rosari Biotech. The company recently reported its numbers as well. The company, remember, manufactures